They smiled at me like I was a guest at my own funeral. The first time I visited Chaik's family house in Enugu, I wore my brightest geli, my cleanest smile, and a heart full of hope. We had been together for 2 years, and when he proposed, I thought I'd finally won the love lottery. Chaik was kind, ambitious, and supportive, or so I believed. But nothing prepares you for the subtle cruelty of a family hiding behind tradition. His mother, Mama Obi, sat like a queen in the middle of the sitting room. Her eyes scanned me, calculating, dissecting. "So this is the girl that wants to marry our son," she said, not to me, but to the room. Laughter rippled through his 2 sisters seated nearby. Chaik didn't say a word. I told myself it was just a rough first impression. After all, many African families believe a woman must prove herself before being welcomed. But what followed wasn't a test, it was a gauntlet of humiliation disguised as tradition. It began subtly. They asked me to serve them for a month before the engagement would be considered. I laughed, thinking it meant cooking once or twice, showing I could keep a home. But I was wrong. They gave me a schedule, Monday to Sunday, morning till evening. Cooking, scrubbing, washing, cleaning the compound. "It's how we do it in this family," his elder sister Ngozi said with a smirk. "If you want to be our wife, you have to pass the test." I asked Chaik privately if this was really necessary. He looked away and said, "Babe, just bear it. It's only a month. My mom will come around." I wanted to believe him. So I served. Every single day. By the end of the second week, my hands had blisters. I smelled like smoke and bleach, then my back ached from bending over to scrub their compound tiles. They found fault in everything. "The stew is too salty, you didn't wash daddy's clothes well, why are you always tired?" And worst of all, Chaik never once defended me. Then, things got darker. One day, I returned from the market to find them seated in the parlor, sipping malt. I greeted, but no one responded. I looked to Chaik for help, but he stared at his phone like I didn't exist. His younger sister, Ifeoma, finally spoke. "You didn't sweep this morning," she said coldly. "I did, before I went out," I replied. She stood and threw her drink on the floor. "Then sweep again. You obviously didn't do it well." The silence that followed told me this was planned. I picked up the broom. My pride ached more than my hands. By the 3rd week, I found out they were laughing behind my back. They even had a group chat, Omo Today Safa, where they posted pictures of me washing, cleaning, bending over in exhaustion. Chaik was in the chat too. I couldn't cry. I couldn't walk away, not yet. Because something inside me burned hotter than shame. I didn't want revenge. I wanted dignity. I wanted truth. I needed them to see who they really were. Then, something unexpected happened. Chaik's ex-girlfriend, Eda Ora, came to visit. She was everything I wasn't: polished, light-skinned, graceful. She smiled when she saw me. "I see they're training you too," she said under her breath. I lasted only 3 days. I blinked. What? They do this to every girl. It's not tradition. It's a sport. A way to prove power. Chaik doesn't want a wife. He wants a servant his family can control. When I refused, they told him I wasn't submissive enough. Felt something in me click. Not break, click. Like a lock opening. I realized I wasn't the first victim. I might not be the last. But I would be the one who ends it. So I planned. The following day, I cooked their favorite meal of onagbu and pounded yam. I cleaned the compound till it sparkled, even bought fresh flowers for Mama Obi's table. I smiled, served, even knelt to greet. But I wasn't surrendering. I was setting the stage. That evening, I asked Chike to meet me at the nearby lounge for a private dinner. He came, thinking I wanted to rekindle romance. I wore a flowing dress and heels. My nails were done. My hair packed like a queen. He smiled when he saw me. "You look stunning, babe." I smiled back. "Thank you." I needed to remind myself who I am. He blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" I handed him a small box, one of those velvet ring boxes. "Open it." He opened it, eyes lit with hope, probably expecting a ring upgrade or love note. Inside was the engagement ring he gave me. "What's this?" he asked, frowning. "I'm serving it to the one who deserves it," I said, rising from my seat. He looked confused. "What do you mean?" "Edaora. She survived 3 days. I survived 3 weeks. Maybe you deserve each other." He stood angry. "You're being dramatic." "No," I said, my voice calm. "I'm being free." I walked out into the night, each step lighter than the last. I didn't cry. I didn't look back. The whispers began before I even reached the gate of Chike's compound the next day. Mama Obi's voice echoed across the compound like a cracked gong. "She returned the ring?" "To who?" I didn't pause. I walked in with dignity, head held high, the same way I used to when I arrived eager to impress. But today, I wasn't here to serve. I was here to collect my things and my self-respect. Ifeoma stood in the hallway, arms crossed, mouth agape. "You're brave," she said. "Or stupid?" I looked at her, not with anger, but pity. "No. Just done." The room was full of tension as I packed. No one helped. No one stopped me. And then, as I zipped up the last bag, Chike walked in, jaw clenched, eyes unreadable. "So you think you're a hero now?" he asked. "No," I said softly. "Just no longer a victim." He scoffed. "You'll regret this. No other man will accept a woman who disrespected a whole family." I smiled. "If that's what a whole family looks like, I'll take solitude." He reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "You didn't just betray me, Chike. You watched me break, then laughed about it. That's not love. That's cowardice." I left the house without ceremony, passing Edaora outside the gate. She stood there, arms folded, eyes knowing. "You actually did it," she said. "I had to." "Others will talk," she warned. "Let them," I replied. "Maybe it'll give the next girl strength." Over the following weeks, the story spread. Some called me arrogant. Others called me wise. But amidst the gossip and stares, I found silence and peace. I returned to Lagos, restarted my baking business, and poured my heart into my work. The flour didn't ask me to prove my worth. The oven didn't insult me. My kitchen became my temple. One morning, months later, I received a message from an unknown number. It was a voice note. "Hi. I don't know if you remember me. My name is Amara. I was about to marry into the Nokoi family. I heard what you did. And I just wanted to say, thank you." I walked away too. Before it was too late. Tears gathered in my eyes, not from sadness, but from quiet pride. It hadn't been a grand rebellion. No marching band, no headlines. Just a woman refusing to serve her soul on a platter in the name of love. Months turned into a year. The pain faded, but the lesson remained. One afternoon, I was invited to speak at a women's seminar in Abuja. The topic was knowing when to walk away. I hesitated at first. Who was I to advise anyone? But something in me knew my story wasn't just mine. It was every woman's who had ever been told to shrink, kneel, or serve to be loved. I stood in front of over 50 women, heart pounding. As I shared my story, how I scrubbed floors for acceptance, how I returned the ring, how I reclaimed my life, the room fell silent. Then the clapping began. Not because I was a hero, but because I had survived. And survival, in a world that romanticizes suffering, is radical. After the event, a young woman approached me, maybe 21, barely holding back tears. "I was about to go through something similar," she whispered. "I thought it was normal. Your story changed something in me." I held her hands, smiled. "Don't serve your soul to be loved. The right love will serve with you." That night, I sat by my window, thinking of everything I had endured, not with bitterness, but clarity. Chaik wasn't the villain. His family wasn't the first of their kind. But I had allowed them to write over my worth. I had handed them the pen. And I had to take it back. Walking away wasn't just leaving a man. It was rewriting a pattern, one passed down through silence and obedience. One that told women they had to suffer first to be chosen. But I had chosen myself. And I wasn't alone anymore. Tradition should never be an excuse for cruelty. The pressure to conform, to serve, to break before being made into a wife, it is a slow violence that disguises itself as culture. But no culture that demands your silence, submission, or suffering in the name of love is worth preserving. Sometimes, the most radical act of love is walking away. And when you do, you don't just save yourself, you set others free too.